Ah, the holidays. Time to cuddle up by the fire with your loved ones and try not to freeze to death because the storm outside is negative 110 degrees Celsius. Welcome back, gamers. I'm TinyGuard and I'll be your Game Pass guide. Today, Frostpunk. Frostpunk is about humanity's last stand. It's 1886 in the steampunk universe, and the snow is coming. Construction begins on a massive generator to fight off the cold in the last autumn. Few heeded the warning signs, but all will heed the Great Frost. Frostpunk begins after the Great Frost has ushered in a new ice age. Frostpunk has 6 scenarios to experience, as well as an endless mode. Each scenario adds different modifiers and backstory to the experience, such as building a bastion of hope in the Frostlands, preserving the world's last seeds, or rebuilding after a failed society. The end goal, though, is largely the same: to survive. Frostpunk is a survival city builder. Not only do you have to manage resources like wood, steel, and food like any other city builder, but you also have to battle cold and dwindling morale. The generator can provide heat in a small radius to fight off the cold, but requires coal to run. The temperature will periodically rise and fall, providing brief relief between periods of increasing adversity. As the temperature falls, expanding past the generator becomes more and more dangerous. Citizens can fall sick or get frostbite when working in too harsh of conditions. Sick citizens can't work, but still drain your food supply and require others to care for them. Amputations can solve frostbite, but are risky and may cause more harm than good. Tragic events like death can diminish the city's hope, another vital resource in the fight against the frost. Poor conditions like thin gruel for food and long hours at work can cause discontent among the people. If hope falls too low or discontent too high, you risk being exiled or executed. Frostpunk requires you to balance material resources for shelter and city growth, stockpile coal and food to keep the populace alive, and maintain morale to keep yourself from getting overthrown. How is humanity to overcome such overwhelming odds against the blizzard? Technology. Technology is your strongest tool against the tide of winter. Building workshops and employing engineers allows you to research new technologies. This is where the bulk of your material resources will actually be spent, as each new research topic requires wood or steel. Heating technologies like steam hubs or workplace heaters allow you to safely branch out from the generator. You can increase the range and power of your generator, increasing the power of any steam hubs as well. But all of this comes at a higher operating cost in coal. Research coal mines, coal thumpers, and more efficient coal mining techniques to keep up with the cost. Research prosthetics to get your frostbitten workers back in action. All of this research comes at higher material costs, so of course that means more research into material gathering like steelworks and sawmills. Research creates an enticing gameplay loop to keep expanding into greater and greater projects. Eventually you'll unlock more advanced structures, which require a scarce and valuable resource: the steam core, a fictional device allowing the construction of powerful steam machinery. But manufacturing steam cores requires advanced facilities that have long frozen over, so you'll need to scavenge the Frostlands to find them. After researching the beacon, you can venture out into the Frostlands with scouts. Scouts can explore locations in the Frostlands to scavenge more resources and rescue other survivors. More survivors means more mouths to feed, which means you need to research better food production. Scavenging is one of the only ways to find steam cores, but normally comes with risk. If you choose a risky option when exploring, your scouts have the random chance to die and lose all their gathered resources. If you're playing in normal mode, you can save before every exploration and load if it goes poorly. But on survivor mode, you can only save when exiting the game, so the risk increases greatly. Scouts are also your main way of discovering the story of Frostpunk. Exploring the Frostlands will reveal the downfall of other cities and the true cost of the frost. This is how you'll advance the scenario's main narrative, but you'll also uncover short stories that serve to amplify the post-apocalyptic atmosphere and increase the tension of gameplay. Your civilization really is humanity's last hope. It's up to you, the captain, to help humanity adapt to the new world. As leader, you can pass laws which are very impactful. Do you force your children to work in dangerous conditions like coal mines, or do you provide shelter for them, losing a large workforce in exchange for their safety? Consume valuable resources to provide respectful funerals for your dead, or throw them in a snow pit and use their bodies as fertilizer. These decisions are vital to shape your society and ensure your survival. You'll be faced with more decisions on how to run the city. When dissenters start vandalizing the city with graffiti, questioning your leadership, do you discipline them or show them mercy? Deeper in the Frostlands, you'll discover the impending threat of a snowstorm, the likes of which humanity has never seen. When all hope seems lost, it's up to you, the captain, to give your people purpose. Now your set of laws expands into 2 paths: order or faith. Faith makes it much easier to maintain hope through prayers and eventually lets you ignore hope entirely with its final upgrade if you choose to pursue such fanaticism. Order is more focused on discontent and efficiency, but I found discontent already manageable through adaptation laws like the pub and the fighting arena. Order's main appeal is its foreman ability, which increases a workplace's efficiency by 40% for 24 hours. Couple that with the emergency shift to make it operate for 24 hours non-stop, and you've just turned your coal mine into a gold mine. Order also helps you reduce food costs. If you have excess workers that aren't contributing to your profits, throw them in prison. Prisoners eat less and can be persuaded to stop vandalizing the city. If it's your first time playing, I'd recommend Faith. Order is a little confusing because it works best when you already have excess. Excess workers can be used to operate watchtowers and guard stations, increasing your hope and decreasing discontent, but Faith's chapel increases hope without requiring workers to operate. Plus, Faith and Order both get buildings, increasing others' efficiency by 20%, although Faith's shrines can't affect automatons like Order's agitators can. What's an automaton? These autonomous robot workers remind you that we're in a steampunk universe. They can replace an entire team of workers to operate a workplace at 60% efficiency non-stop, without complaining like these pesky children. Oh, TinyGuard, I want to go home and play. No! Back to the mines with you, child! With enough research, automatons can be brought up to 90% efficiency. They require a lot of materials to make, specifically the very valuable steam core, but they are often worth the investment. My first successful city only survived the final storm because the automatons were able to work the coal mines while the humans huddled for warmth in their houses.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
However, you can survive the first scenario without using any automatons and spending your steam cores on other aspects like food production or infirmaries, so it's up to you to decide how to survive. There are 4 scenarios in the base game plus 2 DLC scenarios. After you've conquered all the scenarios, Frostpunk also has an endless mode to see how long you can survive or to just build a cool steampunk city in peace. The endless mode features the maps from the 4 scenarios plus 3 original maps in the base game with 1 more unique map in the Rifts DLC. The quality of DLC varies, but they do seem overpriced. I love this game, but it didn't feel great to pay like $20 for 1 more scenario that I beat in 4 hours or so. The Last Autumn DLC was interesting because it's not about just surviving at a generator. Instead, you're building a generator to prepare for the Great Frost, so it changes the gameplay by adding new buildings, laws, and deadlines to complete the generator stages. The On the Edge DLC adds other settlements to the Frostlands to trade and diplomatize with. I love this as a concept, but it came up a bit shallow in the DLC. I'd really like to see this aspect of the game more fleshed out, but Frostpunk doesn't need DLC to be an excellent game. In fact, it's one of the best games I've played in a while, even though it really is just a spreadsheet simulator with fancy graphics. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Speaking of spreadsheets, the economy tab is really useful to tell if you're actually going to survive or not, as it'll tell you your daily consumption versus daily production. Each scenario takes anywhere from 3 to 8 hours to beat, depending on how much you use the fast forward function, but that time is going to fly by. Frostpunk is just so addicting. Whether it's discovering a new location in the Frostlands, reaching a new tier of research, or grinding enough resources to finally build that upgrade, there's always some new accomplishment to keep you playing. Oh yeah, I'll log off after my outpost team gets back and I build this hothouse. Oh wait, I can pass a new law. Next thing you know, it's 4 AM. The music keeps you glued to the game too. It's so dramatic. It really reinforces how grim this world is and how high the stakes are. My first playthrough was barely holding on for so long before I ran out of coal and everyone froze to death. But I was so close. Frostpunk makes you want to keep struggling and keep trying until you succeed. I'm looking forward to see how this game gets expanded in Frostpunk 2. That's right, Frostpunk 2 got announced, baby, yeah! Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe. And if you discovered me with this video, hi, I'm TinyGuard. I review games on the Game Pass. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below. You've been watching TinyGuard, and I'll see you in the next one.